Welcome everybody. This is Dice Game G coming back here on the Vicious News, and we doing, this one on the latest, incident that happened in Dominican Republic. First, I had a girl that I work with. She spoke about this, because she lost, some loved ones over here in this nightclub. At least 184 people died in Dominican Republic nightclub. Roof collapse. Authorities say more than 140 people were rescued within the first 24 hours of the collapse. And Jet said that the Dominican authorities said. So that's what I'm saying. How can a roof fall like this, crumble like this? Normally, a piece of the roof, will fall. You know what I mean? But it seems suspicious, everybody, about this. So like I said, I'm gonna keep researching on this, and I'm gonna keep going into depth to this. At least 184 people are known to have died when the roof of the Dominican Republic nightclub collapsed Tuesday morning, and 150 transfer had been taken at local hospital. Official said Wednesday. The cause of the massive collapse of the Jet Set nightclub remains unclear as rescue efforts entered their second day. Giant cranes were seen removing pieces of the destroyed roof. I'm just saying, we just don't hear about this all the time, And I told my coworker that I was going to, get on Vicious News and spread this out, because, like I said, she need answers. But she got family members. She got people that she known that died in this, this collapse. And I'm just saying, I know this happened in the Dominican Republic and we're in America, but we got to shed light up on this.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is Wednesday, April 9th, 2025. And the U.S. trade war with communist China just went thermonuclear. The United States has now raised tariffs overall, combining them to over 100%. China has slapped a 84% tariff on top of their tariffs, bringing it to really over 200%. They have been raping us for decades, and all they really buy from us now is raw material to send manufactured goods back. We still hold all of the cards, the world reserve currency, the biggest, best military, the best energy supply, but we're losing those cards. And coming up in the next segment, I'm going to get into Kevin O'Leary's breakdown of this on CNN, where he literally knocked it out of the park. We have a narrow window to play our cards right now. The globalists, the CFR, had all said America was over. We were basically going to collapse. We rolled into this globalist system, but that's not happening. And now, hundreds of countries have called Trump. More than 30 on record saying, fine, we'll take tariffs down to zero right now. And that means non-monetary tariffs. That means currency manipulation. That means VAT taxes and so much more. Ladies and gentlemen, if we just don't panic, like President Trump has said, don't be a panicking, be an American. If we're just strong, if we're just brave and know the fundamentals, we're going to win. Sure, they keep trying to crash the stock market, but the stock market is a giant casino that the globalists have used to manipulate things. But I know a lot of people make money off it. That's fine. Under this system, we're going to have the jobs here, and we're going to have a better stock market than ever. And we're going to have production that's critical to our national sovereignty and to our way of life and to our self-respect. We can't be a bunch of fentanyl and meth addicts and a bunch of collapsing systems. We've got to get back to being a sovereign nation, and it's happening right now. And we're culturally removing the DEI, all the transgender brainwashing. Trump just put a massive block on federal funds to Maine, because they're going to still putting men in women's prisons to literally rape them. Already the governor backed off when she said, he'll still have men and women's sports. She backed off of that. She's going to back off of this. It's the same thing. Trump keeps winning. Supreme Court just overrode the Obama judge that said Trump can't deport MS-13 illegal alien gang members. Of course he can. It's right there in the Constitution. So the long surrender of our republic is over if we continue to push and if we get the truth out. That's why all of you are so critical to share this report and share other reports and know the facts and let your fellow Americans know what's happening. Trump's polls are at all-time highs. There's a total political realignment. The majority of union workers are now supporting the Republican Party. The Republican Party is no longer the blue blood elitist party. The Democratic Party is, ladies and gentlemen. This is a global shift. This is a worldwide fourth turning. And I am just so blessed to be here working with all of you in this fight. We are Americans. We are a family. And imagine 20 years ago being at this point right now where the globalists are in complete free fall, where Bill Gates has had all of his government funding cut off, where Klaus Schwab has been kicked out of the WEF, where the entire globalist system's collapsing, and they admit at their own Davos meetings that Trump and America is winning and is basically unstoppable unless we desert him. Finally, a president doing what he said he would do. Finally, a president delivering on all of his promises. This is what the information war is all about, and it wouldn't have happened without my crew and this broadcast and all of you that aren't just supporters. You are men and women in the arena that Teddy Roosevelt talked about. And it has been your stalwart support against the bullying and the lawfare and the attacks and the demonization and not abandoning me and President Trump and others that has done this. So I salute you all. I salute Elon Musk, Tucker Carlson, everybody. This is so...
Yes, everybody, that was Alex Jones, putting a report out on InfoWars talking about this trade war we going in with China, and first of all, Kevin O'Leary calls out for 400% tariffs on creating and thieving China, saying U.S. holds all the cards, and we do. You know what I'm saying? We hold all the cards, and like I said, they need us. We don't need them. Like I said, they do 100% trades with us, and we don't get no money. You know what I'm saying? We don't get nothing but been charged, you know what I'm saying, over 200% on all China goods. And like I said, we don't, charge China for nothing, the previous administration. So Trump is getting really into depth and really raising the stakes on them. He knows that they can't keep going on like this because their stock market is going to crash. You know what I'm saying? And I agree. Because therefore we built China. We built China with our own money. You know what I'm saying? We buying all this stuff. This stuff I'm talking on right now, this podcast, Gil, I got it from China.
Tariffs in China are not enough. I'm advocating 400%. I do business in China. They don't play by the rules. They've been in the WTO for decades. They have never abided by any of the rules they agreed to when they came in for decades. They cheat, they steal IP. I can't litigate in their courts. They take product, technology, they steal it, they manufacture it, sell it back here. Never has an administration
400% tariff. What would that look like?
Xi on an airplane to Washington to level the playing field. This is not about tariffs anymore. Yes. Nobody has taken on China yet, not the Europeans, no administration for decades. As someone who actually does business there, I've had enough. I speak for millions of Americans who have IP that has been stolen by the Chinese. I have
none of them own any business.
That's right. Against the
None of them have ever
people.
started
They've
anything.
brought great
None of those people in panel ever employed anyone except
art,
Kevin.
and tech to the world. The government cheats and steals, and finally, an administration, you may not like Trump, you may not like his style or his rhetoric, finally, an administration that puts up and says enough. 400% tariffs tomorrow morning. He'll tell you why. Xi can only stay the supreme leader if people are employed. If we wipe out any business there, because we are still 39% of all consumables on Earth and 25% of the world's GDP, America is the #1 economy on Earth with all the cards. We will not have that forever. It's time to squeeze Chinese heads into the wall now.
Good.
Well, hold on a second. Well, I hear you, but hold on. If we're talking about people, the average consumer, not necessarily the head honchos of businesses all across the globe, can they withstand?
See, CNN wasn't trying to play right. They was mad with Kevin O'Leary, what he was saying about these 400% tariffs against China. That shows you that they still, really working for the deep state. They still work for the New World Order. They still trying to deceive the people. And like I said, all this stuff they talking about with these tariffs and stuff, they trying to scare the American people. We told you, quit listening to the mainstream media, because therefore they have an agenda. They have an agenda with Satan. And like I said, the tariffs, like I said, we had a boom in the stock market. You know what I'm saying? Only thing you gotta do your research. Go check it out. I mean, I'm talking about we are green lighted right now. And like I said, and we up about 1,500 points in the stocks. So how we, how we crashing? How we, all the tariffs not working for us. You know what I'm saying? And they hoping this will bring in about $700 billion a year with these tariffs. And like I said, I believe it's gonna work. Because you see all the movements. You see, 75 countries come in and trying to, resolve this situation with Trump and these tariffs. But why China? China is trying to play hardball. So, Donald Trump raised it up to 124% on tariffs. And like I said, he need to raise it up 400% because therefore they've been robbing us for a long time. Since decades, they've been robbing us, and they built their whole economy off of us, and that's the truth. You know what I'm saying? So please quit looking at the mainstream media, CNN, all these other, agencies, because they lying. They trying to, discredit Trump, trying to see Trump is crazy. Trump is he's Hitler. That's all they saying, but no proof. But the proof is Trump doing what he said he's going to do. I'm Dice Game G, and I'm out here on the Vicious News. Make sure you like and share this long and wide. We'll be back with more content and more news. I love y'all, and I'm out.